Hi everyone, welcome. Dante here. We're going to get started in the live channeling session in a couple moments. Before we do, I want to post in the YouTube box, as always, you can join I don't have the link, one second. You can always join these live on Zoom, and to get informed as to when they're happening, the best you can do is join the email list, and I'll show you that in a moment. But also these get posted to the social media places, so you can sometimes catch the announcements too. And these are spaces, community gatherings to connect with the Pleiadian Council, who I've been channeling for maybe 9 years now. And they answer all sorts of questions, ranging from personal topics to bigger metaphysical curiosities. We just ask that you frame your questions in a way that everybody might benefit from it, and give maybe 5, 6, 7 minutes per question, at least, and per question, yeah. And sometimes if the Zoom is small, we will have several rounds of the opportunities to ask questions. Sometimes it's very full. Great to see a beautiful group of people here today. Thank you for joining. Reminder, you can find more information on the channeling, personal channeling sessions, the channeling course, and channeled books on dantestarshine.com. And as well, you can sign up for the email list when you take a little scroll down and enter your email, and make sure it doesn't go to spam folder. And as always, thank you for supporting these transmissions and happening. Liking, commenting, sharing is a great help to help us stay visible. And as well, if you want to support these sessions in continuing to happen, covering the costs of Zoom and things, it's very well appreciated and received, but no means necessary. So check dantestarshine.com out and contact me, and we will chat then and enjoy the session. And again, always make sure that you are muted when you are not speaking if you're in Zoom, as it helps keep the background clear so we get a good quality recording and experience together. So that's it. Enjoy, and I'll see you on the other side. Hello, and we say a fantastic day to all of you at this moment of your time. We are the Pleiadian Council, and we speak on behalf of a galactic alliance supporting your planet in this process. Some of you call your ascension. It is your spiritual evolution, raising your own frequency to access aspects of yourself and aspects of the larger, all that is, that were before invisible to you. And this is a process of continually expanding to come to understand more of who you really are. And again, the core of our message, to aid your discovery, to accelerate the process of your own personal and spiritual discovery and exploration. Act on your own highest excitement to the best of your ability without insisting on any particular outcome. We offer this to you as a way to get connected with your own intuitive core, to be able to navigate the ever-changing landscape of this life and this co-creation of reality. So today we would like to dive directly into your questions, and perhaps we'll have some more to share at the end. You may begin whenever you would like.
Hello, Pleiadian Council. My name is Helen. I'd like to ask some questions, if I may.
Yes.
Thank you. Right. So I've been having really exciting contact with the stars for 8 months. So I get lights in the sky and sort of communications via a light on an empty house opposite. And they sort of speak to me and acknowledge my presence. So I'd like sort of more information about who they are and where this contact is going. I know I'm part of the hybridization project and I've seen UFO, but can you tell me more about this direct contact that I'm having outside my house? Because it's just wonderful and I love it.
Have you gotten any particular message yourself about this contact?
No, they they show me lights in the sky, and every time I look out the window, sort of 5 nights out of 7, they flash lights at me and acknowledge my presence. But I sort of want to know who they are and where this is sort of all going.
The lights do originate from your connection to the hybrid races that are letting you know that they are there and receiving contact from you.
Right. Lovely.
Yes.
And so it's the high, because when I sort of hang out the window, the light will flash at me, so I sort of know that they're there. Is it the hybrid children that are connecting with me?
Yes, the hybrid races in general, your children being part of them.
Okay, lovely. Oh, that's wonderful. I get so excited
Yeah.
about that. My second question, if I may ask. So for 2 years, my next door neighbour has been projecting her anger out on me, and she's got access to my property via a sort of path behind my house. And I've asked for healing, and I've sort of put angels up in the window for her to see as she passes. But nothing is getting resolved. And the other day, she walked over to my property and threw dog feces on my patio. So I know she's still really angry, but nothing I seem to do is resolving this issue. So I just wondered what your perspective would be. I try and sort of send her love, but I know she's angry with herself, but it's being projected onto me, and it's just a really not very nice feeling.
Yes, she has endured a lot of hurt, betrayal, and loneliness in her life, and it is in a way embittered her soul. So she does tend to project this energy onto whoever is closest. And literally, you happen to be closest to her at this time as her neighbor. And
Yes.
it's in a way the sort of luck of the draw, though also it's an opportunity for you to deepen into compassion, not as a way necessarily to exactly change the circumstance, but to change your own experience of it so that you're more understanding, less feeling threatened or afraid, and able to rise from the triggers with more ease and grace.
Okay.
We would say that what you're doing in sending love and compassion is supporting your own process of expanding your heart. And some of this energy is also balancing her out as well. We would say that the best thing to do is to have minimal contact,
Yeah.
as all forms of communication in a way energize this pattern in her. And when you are at a more of a distance, she may back off a bit more, unless, of course, it escalates to the point that you might need some other level of intervention.
Okay. It's just because when I step outside my back door, she can physically see me because she's about sort of 10 feet away, and our gardens are all sort of open and exposed. So I feel like I'm having to adapt my behavior to sort of avoid even seeing her. But she's sort of outside my property all the time because of the way that the houses are built. Um, it's just not very nice, and it's been going on for a few years, and it doesn't seem no matter what I try, the situation is not resolving, even though I'm trying to sort of send healing and love
Have you
that
spoken
way.
with her about it directly yet?
She won't speak to me. She's actually come over and told me she's not speaking to me and verbally abused me. And I
And
wasn't.
who contacted any sort of authority or third party about this matter?
No, because the neighbours either side of her moved because of arguments, and she also had to move to this place 25 years ago because of abuse that she gave another neighbor. So it's a pattern that she's got.
Yes.
But I find myself that now that I want to move house because of her behavior. So it's just a tricky situation, and it's sort of not resolving itself really. And I'm at a loss of what to do.
If something happens again, you may want to document and contact some authorities, and in a way, make it clear that you're not going to just let yourself be pushed out like others have. Because if otherwise this is the right place for you, there's no reason to let her do that.
Okay, it's just she can be a very difficult person. So okay, well, thanks.
Filled with difficult people. So best to avoid them as much as you can, but sometimes you will have to deal with them. And remember that patience is one of the best ways to make it through any of these situations. And especially in conflicts, patience is actually the key to winning. It allows you to withhold the pressure under which others may collapse. And in experiences that are conflicting, this would certainly lead to a better result for you. So be patient, allow your heart to be soft, allow yourself to feel what this brings up. Because in a way, the triggers can be a way to look back at other ways that you have been mistreated by others, and allow some self-compassion to heal some of those wounds so that you can have better boundaries and can hold your presence around people who don't have a high frequency without fearing and lowering to meet them where they're at.
Okay, thank you. That's very kind. Thank you for your advice.
Okay, thank you as well.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
Greetings, dear Pleiadian Council. I'm having a conundrum between two of my favorite teachers, between the teachings of two of my favorite teachers, respectively Bashar and Abraham Hicks. And Bashar teaches that on top of when you want to manifest a reality, on top of imagining and emotioning and putting emotion in that creation, you should also act intensively with no expectation, of course, towards that action. And also Abraham Hicks teaches it completely differently. She said she insists that action is not necessary. And part of me wants to, I have a very broad spectrum of things that I'm passionate about, but I'm also passionate about not acting certain times. And I see a lot of chaos and destruction in the world, and whatever, not necessarily chaos, but dysfunctional systems that I know that I can act.
Let's pause for a second. We're going to say we don't see the difference between these teachers that you see. We see that they have different languages, but there's more overlap in what they say than there are contradictions. Now, we want to remind you, because we generally teach the same thing the Bashar teaches, and the Bashar isn't the only one to teach it. There is, in many senses, an agreement to a consensus around this idea of the formula as being the main method for your planet to open to the idea of higher frequencies, the idea of contact, and all sorts of psychic and healing phenomena. Now, remember that this is not just to act in any way. It's to act on what's exciting for you. And the Abraham teaches to just feel better, essentially. There's many ways to just feel better, but of course, acting is included within that. Now, from our understanding, the Abraham sometimes says not acting is better when you are knowing that you are not in the higher end of the frequency spectrum, you could say. When you are feeling motivated by fear and doubt, that is not the time to act, because that is essentially disobeying the formula. It's acting on the opposite of what's exciting for you. It's acting on what gives you fear. And nonetheless, you can be excited to take steps that will help you avoid things that you fear. But that's different from reacting to fear. You see what we're saying?
Yeah, I understand. But also, there's the thing that something quite corollary. I'm having relative decent abundance in my life, but not very much financial prosperity, or it's like sometimes is more, sometimes is less. And since about 15 years ago, since I'm very deep into metaphysics, I'm of course aiming to improve that. And each time I get into a greater flow of financial prosperity, something happens and takes it away one way or another, almost each time. I'm just, as I told you, sometimes I'm quite challenged financially, and sometimes I just want to chill, but I know that without me acting, there's no way that reality doesn't have any doorway through which it can bring abundance into my life. And that's when I'm, let's say, forced in one way or another to act. So, and that it's not always from my highest excitement, that kind of acting, but it's also beneficial for humanity
Yes.
on the other side. So I don't know if you can perceive, and if you have any advice, if maybe I need some, if you perceive that I need some somatic work to clean some low vibrations that maybe cause this situation where I'm being challenged financially, or any permission slip or technique that you might recommend.
Well, it's important to also frame things in the right way so that you don't misunderstand the message. Because from our perspective, if you're excited about some endeavor and that endeavor requires money, then getting the money should be part of the excitement as well. And sometimes there may be a need to allow yourself to focus on the bigger goal behind having the money, so that you can feel more motivated to do things that otherwise wouldn't excite you. Now, of course, this isn't the most sustainable path in the end. And that's why we always say, if you can make income from doing things that excite you, you become a master quicker, because you allow all of the time that you spend working or doing to be in alignment with your own highest excitement. But this is not the case for everyone. There are many ways to adapt this to each person and each moment. So sometimes if you need a surplus of money to channel into a specific goal, then doing things that might not always be what you want to do most, but get you a lot of money, are still part of the process of exploring that very exciting thing that requires the financial goal. That said, if there's something blocking you, we wouldn't want to bring you to focus on healing or cleansing some low vibration as much as we encourage you to expand continually into the process of raising your vibration, of being more abundant, of being more open to the idea that abundance is there whether or not money is there, to be open more to the idea of being excited about generating abundance rather than getting stuck in feelings of resentment towards the idea of work.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'll ponder it. Thank you very much. And
Yes, our great thanks to you as well.
And if anyone else, I might return.
All right. If there's time later, we will look forward to connecting with you again.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yes.
Hello, it's Jennifer from Italy.
Hello. Yes.
I would like to ask the Pleiadians if I've here in Europe they've just put in place a system called exit entrance surveillance. It's become obligatory for fingerprints and facial recognition in all the airports. This will, of course, come online gradually. But of course, is this another choice point like it was with COVID? Whereas, because I'm feeling I never traveled during COVID at all. And how can we safely accept certain obligations without upsetting our ascension process?
Well, first of all, that you are not alone in the feeling of being having your privacy a bit disturbed by this. And what is fortunate to understand is that many in Europe certainly share the sentiment, more than many places in the world, where these sorts of systems have already become normalized. And we would say that because there is a great degree of sentiment that certain things like this might infringe upon privacy, it is helpful for the general public to, in a way, push back against that idea of a surveillance state, if that is exciting for you. There's no problem in expressing that truth. However, at the same time, we will say there is no need to be paranoid about this or other things of this nature, for unless you are a part of organized crime, these sorts of surveillance are not ultimately going to have that much of an impact on you. You are a grain of sand in a massive beach when it comes to the system, ultimately.
Thank you for that.
Yes.
Hello, Pleiadians.
Hello, welcome, yes.
Hello, thank you for this transmission.
Yeah.
Appreciate this. So, to the conversation about expanding and being excited about pursuing the expansion of ourselves, lately I've been feeling kind of a lack of ability to connect with the newer community that I'm now living in. And I know that I'm aware of that all we need for contentment and balance, etc., is within ourselves and isn't on the outside. However, I'm also aware that it's important to connect with community and be active and reach out to community. So can you give some insights about how to balance that in pursuit of our self-expansion, yet feeling like my identity is beginning to erode because I feel like some people don't see me?
How long have you been a part of this community?
Probably about a year and a half to 2 years, maybe, or slowly have integrated into this community.
Yes. And in what way do you feel as if you don't necessarily belong?
I feel that there's a couple things. Part of it is from a business perspective. My experience tree and approach to business and business ethics are a bit different, not right or wrong, and neither are right or wrong. It's just it just doesn't quite align. So I'm trying to not feel like I need to fit myself into the community. So that's what I'm also struggling with too, is I don't want to feel like I need to change who I am and how I do business. And just still be myself. But I feel that it's then at the same time not connecting with anyone in this community, if that makes sense.
Yes. Though it's important to distinguish that you don't have to necessarily be alike to others to be able to connect with them and speak with them. Sometimes your differences allow you to learn and grow deeper in connection.
Mm. Yes, I recently worked on a project where I felt very aligned and in tune with the community, and it was syncing with what I felt was my kind of my lane of expertise from a professional standpoint. And that construct or that situation ended. However, I feel like that was circumstantial versus necessarily connecting on a continual basis with the people who were involved in that project.
Yes, it could have been specific to that project. There can be aspects of that project that you can perhaps savor or continue to seek out similar avenues of expression. Though it's also important to recognize that not all of your friends and not all community has to be necessarily connected to some professional activity. There's also ways to find other friends that share very different sorts of interests that you might not have fully explored yet.
Meaning people within that group, or
people within your area that are doing their own thing, doing something unconnected to your professional life that might still be opportunities for relationship, companionship, exploration together.
So thank you. That's a great insight, because I'm finding that my identity has been so wrapped up in my career track for several years that I'm recognizing now that that's becoming a belief system that's very limiting to me, because my identity is so entangled with that. So would it mean detangling from my work and my career path a bit more?
Incorporating different things that excite you in life and giving them a bit more time. If you can think of other activities that light your heart up, maybe find ways to strengthen your bonds with people from those communities. Perhaps it has to do with yoga or hobby art, something of this nature. Some other way that you can find yourself in a flow and exploring connection that doesn't necessarily have to do with work or money.
Okay. So, sorry, one last question to follow up with that. I'm finding that limiting, I'm recognizing too that some sadness in past relationships is also hanging on to that memory, or trying to process and reflect on those memories is creating limiting beliefs of some type. How would you suggest I navigate that, or work through that, as far as?
Well, what are you seeing about those relationships, and more specifically about your own perception or behavior in those relationships that you regret a bit?
That I wasn't present at the time, and I didn't have enough gratitude for what was, and understanding the beautiful, positive pieces of it, and not having enough gratitude and understanding of the bigger picture, of the total picture.
What if these feelings then are not a limiting belief that needs to be deconstructed, but instead an invitation to connect more with those energies of presence and gratitude. These feelings might be there so that you can focus more on cultivating presence and finding gratitude in the moment, so that you make sure that you don't put yourself back in the same trap as new relationships come around.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I'm so gratitude to you, Pleiadians, for your beautiful, profound insights. Thank you.
Yes, our great thanks and our gratitude to you as well. And yes, back to something you were mentioning before, that it's important to expand your identity to include everything about you, not just what you can do for others, everything that excites you, everything that lights you up, everything that brings you joy. Also, things that might have challenged you in the past are equally a part of who you are and how you may come to know yourself. So expand your identity to include also those other aspects of your life. Allow yourself to enjoy more that aren't necessarily related to what you can provide for others, but are connected to the simple joys of being you. These are essential parts of identity and personality, as that is what allows for your sort of unconditional love to shine through. It's what allows for the joy and the happiness that doesn't require an outcome or a perfect project to emanate from you effortlessly. So take some time exploring. What are the little things that bring me joy? And along the way, see who you might share that joy with. And these can be friends that allow you to see different aspects of yourself. And ideally, they would also be relationships with a bit less pressure, that just feel as if they are to enjoy the pleasantries of the moment.
Thank you for that, because yes, I have always felt that I need to be in service to others and please other people. So thank you so much.
Yes, allow yourself to be served as well sometimes.
Thank you. My gratitude to you, Pleiadians.
Unconditional love and gratitude to you as well.
Hi, Pleiadians. Can I ask a question?
Yes, absolutely.
Hey, thank you, thank you. When it comes to like our media and music and the programming, over the years I've just become very aware of how negative messages are so easily shared in that, and then we have to navigate the shared space with people who don't see that. And often it's met with resistance if you try to share that message because it's what they want to hear or what they want to watch. How is the best way to navigate that and still stay, elevated without conflict? And sometimes that's public space, but sometimes it's private space with the ones, you're even, if you're on a road trip and you're in the car and you're sharing space, it's hard to get those messages across and maintain that higher vibration. Any help on that?
Yes, this has everything to do with sensing the energy of openness in other people. And all of the experiences where you come up against stubbornness and resistance in people are part of the proving grounds where you learn how to intuitively check the availability of somebody in any given moment. How willing are they to listen to this? And it isn't just a pure intuition. It's also important to match this intuition with testing the waters. That can mean softly making comments about what you feel the meaning of the content is or the subtle implications of a song are. And if they don't like to hear the soft message, then they certainly won't want to hear more from you. And learning how to respect that resistance in them is important for protecting yourself in the moment in a way, and also for the overall social cohesion. Also sensing that resistance or that availableness in others is something that's constantly fluctuating moment to moment. So it's also about timing. Generally, there is some moments where people might be available for things that challenge their belief systems and preconceived notions. But when they are stressed out or in more incoherent state, those moments will make those challenges much more disruptive and disharmonious. So yes, it's also about sensing in the moment. Are they really willing and available to hear this? And then in a personal way, just so that you don't feel the tension from these sorts of vibrations, it's important to also be able to listen to and notice the positive within the negative. There could be a song that has overall materialistic or self-serving messages in it, but it might have a nice beat. It might have a nice harmony. If you can allow yourself to detach the good from the bad and appreciate some aspect of it, you allow yourself to not become extreme in your responses or reactions to things. Learn again how to constantly see the world, not in black and white, but in many shades of gray, where everything is very complex. And within everything, you are able to see both the good and the bad. And in this way, when you encounter some of the harsher subliminal programming in media, you don't react to it completely, because you see there's also some shades of positivity beneath the surface as well.
Thank you so much. And then trying to maintain that higher vibration in those states, especially if it's invasive, I guess would be just to try to find the good within the bad. Is that what we're saying?
Yes. And then also tune in with yourself. Tune into your own body. Remember that returning to your breath and visualizing light flowing in and out through every breath is one of the most powerful neutralizers that you can work with in moments where you're feeling tension or discordant vibrations. Focusing on the sensations and the visualization while allowing thoughts and ideas to take a step into the background. Allow yourself to not grasp for the thoughts, not judge them or try to change them, and stay present with the breath and the feelings in your body long enough that you create a subtle shift of energy. Doing this sometimes only for 2 or 3 minutes is enough to snap out of particular resistances and thought loops that were making the moment more tense than they need to be. You can do it for a couple of minutes and then take a deep sigh of relief and shake your body briefly to allow for any of the tension that builds to get released. Doing these small adjustments and somatic tune-ins on a regular basis allows you to stay in balance so that you don't find yourself building up intense charges of emotion and energy.
Thank you so much for that. And I'll just take this moment to express gratitude. There has been many times where I have just put in an earbud and turned on the book that you have written for just a quick positive vibration and a reset of that. And I just wanted to say thank you for that channeling that is available in the sometimes like that.
Oh, and we thank you for tuning into it and making the best use of it in this way. And this is a great example of that permission slip, that simply taking a couple of moments to tune into a higher frequency energy is enough to disrupt the thought loops and allow yourself to tune into your own natural frequency, your own natural connection to your higher self.
Thank you.
Oh, great. Thanks. You as well. Yes.
If there's no one else, I might go in. Question.
All right.
Thank you. I'm wanting to know, it's like a multi-dimensional conundrum that I have. Bashar says that when we die, we even have the opportunity to to come back in and to re-experience, but through a slightly different parallel reality. Of course, not the same because it's impossible. And I was wondering, if a person dies, you see the people that you leave behind as unique, or you see them in the multiple versions that they are, and otherwise put, when you die, let's say certain people that you leave behind will be hypothetically will be upset that you left, and when you come back to another timeline. If you choose to come back, you choose to come back to another timeline where those people didn't even knew that you died, for example. And how does this work exactly? If you understand what I'm asking, or we can have a back and forth to clarify.
Yes, in these experiences where people die and they choose to come back, they do come into a different timeline. And depending on the experience that led to their death, this can mean a variety of different things. For example, somebody could get into a car accident and die from that in one timeline, where in another timeline, they were still in the accident, but they managed to survive. Other experiences can look drastically different. And so it is correct then that the people in the timeline wherein the person didn't die have no connection to the timeline in which they did die, because that's not their reality. Yes?
Yes, of course.
So what's the conundrum?
The conundrum is when let's suppose you die, you see all of those parallel timelines.
Okay.
Some people grieving for you, and some people just continuing to live with you.
Yes, and simultaneously you see the source, and you see many. You see the source, you see many pasts and futures. You see a more multidimensional expression of those that you know and love. And all of this informs the choices that some souls make, though some souls really feel in that reconnection with the source that they are complete and that they don't need to experience anything more in this timeline of their life.
Yeah, but when you let's say some people suicide themselves, or I don't know if that's a good word for you too, if you maybe remember to censor it. They leave behind some people that grieve for them, and they see themselves like responsible for alleviating the suffering of those people, but they also see a parallel timeline where those people are not suffering, and knowing that both are equally valid, both are equally true, both equal parallel timelines, right?
Well, the soul who dies and comes back doesn't necessarily know everything they are going to come back to, but they're nonetheless given an opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course, I know that. What do
Not
they?
as if they know everything that's going to happen. And
yeah. But do they choose to communicate, let's say, with the people that are grieving, or with the people that are not grieving, not they're happy, or how?
You mean souls that pass on?
Yeah, souls that pass on.
Souls
Yeah.
that pass on communicate to whoever is able to listen to them and is connected to them. For example, a wife might die, but if the husband isn't psychically open enough to hear the messages coming from the wife, they will find the closest person to the husband that would be able to relay the messages that can actually hold the frequency of that level of multidimensional communication, because not everyone can do it.
Okay, I'll rewatch the recording. Thank you. And a very short one, possible. If you perceive something about my guides, that you would send a message, if they have a message for me or an ideal way of how to contact them in any way. If
when we connect with your guides, we get a sense that they are a bit surprised that you don't feel their presence more. They want you to recognize that their initial modes of communicating with you might be more subtle than you expect. And they want you to learn more how to listen to the whispers, the synchronicities, the subtleties, that feeling that there is a presence there, and tune more into that energy. They do think that you are sometimes blocked by your intellect because you have too many preconceived notions and concepts going about what that level of communication needs to be, that you're often missing cues from them that they're already giving you.
Okay, thank you. And any name that I should maybe use to contact them or something like that?
Listen to them, learn to connect with them, and over time they will reveal those sorts of details to you.
All righty then. Thank you very much.
Yes, our thanks to you as well.
And much love. Bye.
Our unconditional love to you as well.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hello, could I ask another question, please?
All right, yes.
Okay.
And if somebody at any moment would like to read the YouTube questions, that would be splendid. Yes.
Okay. When am I going to meet my hybrid children? Sort of, if you could give me a time frame.
Well, have you explored the idea of something like hypnosis to meet them?
I've gone for past life regression in the past, and I went for quantum healing hypnosis. And the lady said I was the only person she'd ever had that she couldn't basically work with. So hypnosis over the years just doesn't seem to work for me at all, even though it's been really exciting that I've gone for it. They just haven't been able to do anything for...
It may take more time for you. So instead of hypnosis, try something similar that works through a slightly different method, like a guided meditation. Have you had any success with that?
No, I just seem to hit a wall, basically, and not be able to get past that. And I work a lot with children. I'm very connected with children and nature, but I'd like to connect more with my hybrid children, even though I seem to connect in dreams. I can't always remember the details.
Children can be a great way for you to start to open the door to meet the hybrid children as well, because children often have a very energized imagination. And this is the part of you that you need to expand to deepen into these sorts of psychic experiences. So as you connect more with children, we would encourage you to tell stories with them, to draw pictures with them, to see what their imagination can conjure and roll with it. Allow yourself to become more imaginative and playful with them, and allow for experiences like guided meditation and hypnosis to be met with the same sort of childlike wonder. You don't necessarily need to seek out a session of doing hypnotherapy, but to listen to guided meditations that involve visualization, to connect with guides, past lifetimes, and experiences of this nature will be a great asset in learning how to meet your hybrid children on the astral plane. As generally, not always, but generally, these sorts of guides want to meet you in this telepathic connection before a physical sort of contact is possible.
Okay, that's great. And just one quick question. So what following my excitement sort of involves spending money? Because I've done a couple of skydiving sessions this year, and it's like the most exciting thing I've ever done. And I'm still excited thinking about it and I'm excited like 4 or 5 days after it, but it's really expensive. So it's not something I can really do more than once or twice a year, but I'd like to do it more. But then I think, oh, it's expensive, so I shouldn't do it. So what if my excitement involves spending a lot of money that I feel I shouldn't spend? Do you know what I mean?
Then you have to negotiate to find out what the best budget for you is. To still include it, yes, is important, but to also make sure that you can fit in everything that excites you.
Yes. Okay. No, I do try and do that, but I always think, oh, that involves that cost, so I shouldn't do it, and I maybe stop myself doing something when I should do it because it involves spending money.
Yes, that's understandable to do at times, but as long as you know that you can provide for yourself, it's important to allow yourself to live in the moment and bring joy. You know when it really calls to you. So allow yourself to trust that.
Okay. Oh, that's lovely. Thank you so much. I so appreciate your advice and you helping all of us down here. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you as well.
Okay.
Would you like us to read some of the questions in YouTube?
If you have a moment, yes, we'd be curious.
Okay. So I'm going to go in chronological order here. After visiting Stonehenge, I had a dream that someone told me I had special powers. I jumped from a high place, flew freely, and even teleported to a cliff below, inspired by the power of teleportation. What was this dream about? Thank you.
Well, the dream was literally getting you to experience your own magical powers. Flying, teleporting, all of these phenomena within your dream is in itself a magical power. So magical powers begin in your connection to that subconscious realm. Dreams are a place of subconscious energy. And yes, things like hypnosis, guided meditation, as we've mentioned, allow you to actively engage your subconscious energies while awake. Another method is lucid dreaming. And should you be able to have this experience again, where you can become aware within your dream, you can have far more magical powers in the dream realm than you do in the physical realm. And you might think that, well, what's the point if I can only do this in this unreal dream plane? And we want to remind you that the dream plane is very real. Just because you only experience it when you're sleeping doesn't make it less real than physical reality. The reality of dreams operates in completely different laws. And yes, everything is possible. And this is a way for you to explore those vast realms of possibility. Knowing that, yes, when you have liberating experiences like flying, like carrying out specific fantasies in your dreams, it allows for subtle shifts to take place in your spiritual body, in your emotional body, within your psyche. And that is one of the most powerful ways to use your dreams as practices in manifestation. Know that your dreams are actually very similar to physical reality. As you think of something and you focus upon something, gradually it comes to be a true experience. In dreams, this happens almost instantaneously. If you suspend your disbelief and focus upon anything, it becomes your reality instantaneously. In this way, dreams set you up to learn how to manifest in physical reality by showing you that all you have to do is focus on it and stay believing and allow for that manifestation to present itself over time. So by allowing yourself to lucid dream and enjoy experiences, desires that you have in this physical life, you can prepare yourself to more easily manifest those desires. It's also a process that helps you to clear out, so to speak, certain things that you don't necessarily need. As in sometimes, yes, you start to desire things that aren't necessarily relevant to your essence. You think they're right for you, but they don't really reflect your highest excitement. And sometimes dreams give you the opportunity to realize this because they put you in that situation and allow you to see that that fantasy wasn't necessarily reflective of your true and highest excitement. And so, yes, use dreams, use meditation as a way to develop your magical powers and recognize that even the ability to have such a dream is a magical power in and of its own right. And it's the beginning of learning how to use your conscious mind to choose and use your focus to explore the deeper powers of the subconscious realm as well.
Thank you for that answer. I actually have to leave the chat room, unfortunately. If someone else could take over and read some of the questions, or if
for your support, your presence today, and we wish you a fantastic day then, yes?
Thank you, Pleiadians. My gratitude. Thank you, Dante.
Yes, our gratitude to you as well.
I can read a few.
All right.
Let me see. After that one. How does looking at the sun expand the love? It's weirdly written. Looking at the sun like he, us, being a family. Am I a part of Ra or sun? Thanks. A part of Ra or the sun. Thanks.
This is a bit unclear for us, but what we can say is that the sun is sort of like a collective spiritual body for all of humanity, that you all connect to the sun at a cosmic level, and the sun in that way is sort of like a soul container where all souls on this earth plane contain an aspect of their own essence.
Mm-hmm. I'm curious, do you know how many species are stationary right now around Earth in general? Thanks.
Around 11.
Mm-hmm. Let's see another. I have this emptiness in my heart where my nurturing and mothering was. I clear the energy of loss, and I understand they were meant to teach some sort of lesson. I just don't know what I am supposed to do with that part of me.
You're supposed to use that nurturing, mothering energy for yourself. You're supposed to direct it for yourself to allow you to be, in that sense, a parent to your inner child, to be, in that sense, your own primary caregiver, to be, in that sense, a truly compassionate being. Because without self-compassion, you cannot be deeply compassionate for anyone else. And so to step into that energy of care for yourself is why there is this emptiness. You have often sought to find healing and belonging through caring for others. And it's important for you to recognize that while your intentions were good, there was also a personal need within your desire to give so much of your energy to many other people. And so in owning this, you can allow yourself to recognize that even in all of that, there was something that you need that you weren't getting. And you actually deserve to be healed, cared for, and nurtured in the same way that you have done so for many others. first, in order for you to get that love and care, you need to fully give it to yourself, fully care for yourself, fully mother yourself in that way. And as you do so, it isn't that this emptiness will go away, but the heaviness connected with it will go away. In a way, the emptiness can become an expansiveness that reminds you that all is birthed from the void.
There are two more questions.
I was going to say that. I was going to say that's actually was mine. I came on because I was like, there might be more. But can I ask you? So that was me, and I'm getting there. You know, I'm losing some of that energy. I'm an empath, so I had to really release a lot of that and a lot of betrayal and things like that happened. But I'm working really hard on trying to hone my skills. And one thing I've learned that when I do visualization, I can't. I think I have anesthesia where I can't see. It's almost, I know, and I was just going to ask, how can I work on developing that? Is there something blocking that?
Well, everybody has different degrees of psychic skill. Just as much as some people might need glasses to see and other people have perfect vision but might need a hearing aid. All of your psychic senses are at varying levels. And in your case, it might be that the clairvoyance or psychic seeing is lower, but that doesn't necessarily mean you don't have intuition. The same information might present itself to you through clairaudience, which is hearing the messages, or clairsentience, feeling the presence. And so you may have to adjust many practices that encourage you to visualize something with perhaps repeating phrases, focusing on repeating ideas or stating certain truths to work with the auditory method. Or you might instead focus on the feeling, like if a visualization encourages you to picture yourself in a forest, instead focus on how it feels to be in the forest, or perhaps conjure specific smells, like the smell of the forest after a rainstorm, as a way to help you connect with what that specific guided meditation is bringing you to connect with. The same is true about doing energy work or different sorts of experiences. Instead of focusing on visual content, allow yourself to psychically hear, psychically feel, and psychically understand.
Yeah, it's been a lot of vibrations. Like I feel the vibrations in my fingers and my head and things like that. I feel like it is a feeling.
Yes.
That helps. So I don't need to try to fix that about myself.
No, focus on what's working and allow your connection to sensation to guide you deeper into knowing and perceiving more.
Okay. Thank you so much. I just found your podcast and everything this week, and it was kind of synchronicity. So I appreciate it.
Oh, our great thanks to you as well. And we're glad that synchronicity brought us together in this way.
Thank you.
Yes.
From YouTube.
All right.
Question. What are some good supplements, aromatherapy or facial treatments for my hot flashes and flushing? And what are the psychological beliefs that trigger them? Thank you.
There might be some level of fear that is causing these hot flashes. It could have to do with some sort of stressful or traumatic event that involved a sudden accident or an intense emotional outburst from another person. And this flustering of energy within you is the unprocessed imprint from the past. So it's important to focus on emotionally reconnecting with things like fear that hasn't been fully digested, and shock that hasn't fully been processed to allow yourself to deal with this. As for other remedies, we would suggest peppermint is a very cooling oil, as is lavender. For essential oil remedies, the smell of these can be quite helpful, and lavender can be used in a carrier oil on the skin. We would also suggest many cooling teas, and to avoid excessively heating things, perhaps lowering coffee consumption or any sort of spicy food.
Next question.
All right.
Hello, Pleiadians. Do you have a technique to identify false, hidden, limiting beliefs? Thank you very much.
Yes, there's many techniques of this nature we have shared at different times. So let's speak to the general process now at this time. And we can conclude then with a guided meditation that all of you can do together to be able to see what limiting beliefs might be present at this time. So take a moment, you may close your eyes and tune in to the center of your being in your heart, taking a very deep breath in, filling your whole body with breath. And as you do, reach the top of your breath, imagine your whole body is also filled with light. And exhale slowly. Continue feeling as you breathe in and out that your body has a glowing radiance, that every cell of your body is lit up with this energy. The light could present itself in any way you like. Perhaps it is white light. Perhaps it is a gold light. Perhaps it's a clear light or a violet light. Perhaps it is a rainbow of many colors. Focus on seeing every cell in your body glowing with this light. Feel specific parts of your body like your toes, your fingers, the back of your head, glowing, vibrating. Feel all of the cells connecting. And as you tune into this light, also start to notice, are there parts of my body where I hold resistance to this energy? Continue to imagine your body getting more bright and more interconnected. And then notice where there's that tension. Perhaps you notice there's a dark cloud in some part of your body. Perhaps you start to feel a familiar ache or pain. And allow your awareness to go there and get connected with it. Maintain, nonetheless, that connection to the sense that your whole body is glowing with energy. Breathe into the parts of your body where there is tension and feel the light reaches there and it gets brighter there. And as you exhale, notice some of the darkness going. As you connect with this tension, ask yourself, what must I be believing to be true that would cause me to hold on to this tension? Connect with that sensation, that feeling, and notice what emotion arises in connection to it. Name the emotion, label it. Perhaps you feel connected to the sensation. There is anger, fear, sadness. And again, specifically ask yourself, what must I believe about myself to be true that would cause me to feel this way? Perhaps you hear different thoughts arise. Common, very common negative beliefs in your world are things like, I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough yet. I can't do this or that. people don't love me for who I am. Connect with whatever negative belief feels most crushing for you in this moment. And allow yourself to feel that belief, to connect with the emotion it causes you. Now start to ask, what would the opposite of this belief be? If your belief said, I am unworthy, it's clear. I am worthy is the opposite. If your belief is, people don't love me for who I am, perhaps the new belief is, the right people will always see the light in me. Perhaps you come up with a couple different opposites to this belief. We want you to imagine holding your hands out in front of you. And feeling between your hands a ball of energy form as you connect with these new thought forms. Deliberately focus on thoughts that say the opposite of what your old beliefs might have convinced you to think. As you repeat, I am worthy, I am enough, I am whole, I have everything I need, abundance is my birthright. Whatever you feel you must believe to transcend this old pattern. Notice what happens to the energy between your hands. Perhaps this energy starts to take on a visual appearance. Perhaps you just feel a brighter and stronger ball of energy between your hands. After some moments, take this ball of energy and place it into your body wherever you were feeling the tension. Hold that part of your body and focus on these new thoughts, these new vibrations connected with the true, deeper beliefs that you want to believe, that you want to be true. Notice what happens as this energy integrates in your being. So this is one such tool that we often suggest to you. To connect with your inner body, to connect with the realm of sensations, as this is the deepest way to connect with the stuck energies in your own mind. Use this in connection with your focus to deliberately choose new thoughts, and remember that the process of undoing limiting beliefs isn't just revealing them, it's actually more the work in proving to yourself new beliefs. And to prove to yourself enough that you fully accept these new positive beliefs, it requires your action. It requires that you take the actions that a person who believes these positive things would take, challenging yourself to take bigger and bigger steps of bravery every day, challenging yourself to put yourself to the test and put the beliefs to the test, and doing this until the new positive beliefs integrate. We would also suggest, in order to connect with your belief systems and reveal them, journaling. To allow yourself to stream of conscious journal, or perhaps speak into a recording device where you can then later look back or listen back to your own thoughts and see them from a different perspective. Oftentimes in doing this, you allow yourself to see the thinking patterns within you that don't serve you. And finally, yes, it's always helpful to connect with others who have done the work of clearing their beliefs and developing new positive beliefs. Allow them to be a mirror reflection to you. You are guiding each other home. As you undo certain beliefs, you might meet others in your life that you can help, and they also just as much might have keys for you to undo some of your own beliefs. So don't think you have to do this on your own. Use the mirror reflection and the support of others to see deeper into yourselves and catch your blind spots, because doing this level of work is often not possible without it. So that's how we would answer that question. We hope that has helped you gain some self-insight and gain a tool that you can always use when you are finding yourself out of balance and needing to recommit to transforming your own beliefs. So it has been a wonderful way for us to meet all of you and connect together at this time. We thank all of you for coming together and co-creating this interaction and for applying this wisdom in your lives, allowing the frequency of your own individual selves and the planet together to raise, gradually leading to a more awakened planet and to open contact potential for our world and your world to meet and co-create in more pronounced and tangible ways in the future. We thank you very much, and we wish you a fantastic rest of your day then. Okay.
Oh, as well to you.
All right, everybody. How's it going?
Just thank you so much. Yeah.
Welcome.
I needed that.
Great.
And just beautiful.
Beautiful, beautiful. Glad you could make it today. So, yeah, everybody, if you can check DanteStarshine.com out for more info on the channel books and the courses and sessions available. If these sessions help you, going deeper into personal sessions can really unlock some of the things that might be stuck and allow you to attune to the frequency that'll send you forward. I really love to do this work and see the changes that people make in their lives, and it's always very affirming. If you want to support these sessions, you can send a donation via PayPal or Venmo. It's the same as the email that you'll find on my website. And I really appreciate them as it supports the cost of Zoom and all of the other things involved. So we'll stay tuned and check the email list for when the next session will be. I hope to do it sometime next week or the week after. It's great to see everybody today, and we'll catch you next time. Many blessings.
Thank you.